Tuesday morning, 7 July 2026. Two sisters were sitting having breakfast together at a cafe in Toowoomba, laughing and chatting as they always did. Neither of them imagined that would be the last time they'd sit together. Just hours after saying goodbye, the older sister could no longer reach her younger sister. And when the front door was opened, all that was found was her 4-month-old son, lying alone in silence. She was not in the bedroom, nor was she in the kitchen, and she was nowhere in the house at all. So, where had she gone? Her car was found the next day, just a few hundred meters from her home, the door unlocked, as if she had only stepped out for a moment. But she never came back. 4 days later, a group of people walking through dense bushland found the thing her family had feared most. Tuesday evening, 7 July 2026. When call after call went unanswered, her sister began to worry. This wasn't Jana's usual kind of silence. She always picked up, always replied to messages. Police were notified. Jana Armstrong, 30, was officially reported missing. Everyone who knew her said the same thing. This was completely out of character for Jana. Early Wednesday morning, 8 July, police widened the search to the areas around Jana's home and appealed to the public for any information about her movements on the night of 7 July. Then a detail emerged that made everyone even more worried. Jana's white Hyundai Kona, the car she drove every day, was found parked on the street, only about 500 meters from her home. The door was unlocked, the keys were not inside, no luggage, no farewell message. No explanation left for anyone. That car said only one thing. Jana had no plan to go anywhere. She may have been in trouble. Police were particularly interested in dashcam and security camera footage along roads around the Toowoomba area between 10:30 p.m. on 7 July and 1:30 a.m. on 8 July. But while police were gathering information, Jana's family could not simply sit and wait. Her sister, Faith Isaacs, who had had breakfast with Jana just days earlier, who was now caring for Jana Armstrong's 4-month-old nephew while she was missing, organized a search party herself. Friends, colleagues, neighbors, people who knew Jana, people who loved her, came together and began combing through areas around Toowoomba. They walked along dirt roads. They waded through thick scrub. They climbed down steep slopes. Their eyes searched for anything, a scrap of clothing, a footprint, any clue that might belong to Jana. We're just trying to find where Jana might be. Any clue, clothing, or fresh tire tracks or anything, Faith said while still searching. But the Queensland bush is vast and full of danger. Each day of searching ended without result. Each night that passed brought more worry. And after 4 days had passed, Jana still had not been found. Saturday night, 11 July 2026, a group of people out hunting in dense bushland at Red Bank Creek along Hampton Road, about 55 kilometers northeast of Toowoomba, near Ravensbourne National Park. This is a fairly dark, isolated area, with no houses nearby and few people passing through. And in that darkness, they found the body of a woman, lying in the bush, in a spot that, had this group not passed through, might not have been found for a long time. They stopped immediately and called police. The 000 call was made at 10:39 p.m. What was found in that dark bushland, far from the main road, far from any residential area, confirmed what Jana's family had feared most over the past 4 days. The search was over, but the real investigation had only just begun. Immediately after the report was received, Queensland Police dispatched officers to the Red Bank Creek area. At 11:20 p.m., the crime scene was officially established. Police did not confirm identity at that point, but in the hearts of everyone following the search for Jana Armstrong, no one doubted whose body this was. The entire bushland area where the body was found was sealed off immediately. No one was permitted access, not even the victim's family, not even the members of the search party who had spent days combing the area. The forensic examination team was called out that same night. Police set up a cordon along Hampton Road, keeping curious onlookers away from the area. The crime scene examination team worked through the night at the Red Bank Creek area. In the darkness of the dense bushland, every square meter of ground was carefully checked. Every trace, every item, every smallest detail was recorded and collected. The area around where the body was found was thoroughly searched for further evidence, tire tracks, footprints, or any item that could be connected to how the body had been brought to this location. Police confirmed the road leading into the Red Bank Creek area, particularly along Escampton Road and the New England Highway, was a route of particular interest. They appealed to anyone with dashcam or security camera footage along these roads between 10:30 p.m. on 7 July and 1:30 a.m. on 8 July to contact police immediately. Dawn broke. The examination team had still not left the scene. Alongside this, an important piece of information was passed to the investigation team. Jana's car, the white Hyundai Kona found 500 meters from her home with the door unlocked, and its movements on the night of 7th of July would be the focus of the next stage of the investigation. Detective Brian Collins confirmed the movements of that car would be a key part of the entire investigation. And in Toowoomba, a house on West Street, Harristown, was now on police's radar. The body was removed from the scene and taken to a forensic facility for formal examination. At this point, the body had not been formally confirmed as Jana Armstrong's, but Queensland police stated clearly they believed this was her body. The forensic team carried out an examination to formally establish identity, cause of death, and time of death. Police also said they believed Jana had been killed on the night of 7th July, the night she went missing, the night her car was left 500 meters from home with the door unlocked. Full forensic results had not been released as the investigation continued, but for police, there was enough basis to act, and they had acted that same night. While the forensic team continued their work, Darling Downs detectives focused on one central question: where had Jana's white Hyundai Kona traveled on the night of 7 July? This was not a simple question. The car was found only 500 meters from Jana's home, but her body was found 55 kilometers away, in bushland at Red Bank Creek. That distance could not have happened on its own. Someone had driven, someone had known the route, and someone had chosen that location deliberately. Police began collecting footage from security cameras and dash cams along key routes. The route from Toowoomba to Esk, along Escampton Road and the New England Highway, became the focus. This is the only road leading to the Red Bank Creek area where the body was found. Police identified specific locations where footage was needed. Tabletop Drive, Rangeville, between about 9 and 10 p.m. on 7 July. Preston Road, Preston, around 10 p.m. Charker Street, Darling Heights, around 10:15 p.m. and Gordon Avenue, Newtown, between 3 and 5 a.m. on 8 July. Those locations, when plotted on a map, traced out a route someone had traveled in the dead of night, while all of Toowoomba slept. Police appealed to the public: if you have any footage from security cameras or dash cams along those roads between 10:30 p.m. on the 7th and 1:30 a.m. on the 8th, contact police immediately. Detective Brian Collins said plainly, the movements of Jana's car that night would be the most important part of the investigation. And while the investigation was underway, one name had already been on police's radar early on. Jana Armstrong is not someone whose life can be summed up in a few lines of news coverage. She was 30. She worked as a community support worker, someone who chose a career of caring for and helping those around her as a way of life, not just a job. She was the mother of a 4-month-old son, a child she had welcomed into the world less than half a year earlier. She lived in Newtown, near Toowoomba, a quiet area where neighbors know each other, where the disappearance of someone like Jana could not go unnoticed. Her sister, Faith Isaacs, described Jana in the simplest words, and they are also the most heartbreaking. Jana was Faith's best friend, not just a sister, her best friend. The person Faith called first with good news. The person Faith wanted to share with first when something was wrong. On Tuesday morning, 7 July, they had sat together for breakfast at a cafe in Toowoomba. It was the most ordinary thing in the world. Two sisters meeting up, having breakfast, talking. No one knew it would be the last time, Faith said. She was so loved, she was caring, calm and loving, always put others first. And then, Faith said something that would stop anyone in their tracks. I don't know how to keep going, but I have to be strong for her baby and my son. Jana's 4-month-old son, the child found alone in the silent house on the afternoon she went missing, is now being cared for by Faith. That was Jana Armstrong, not a name in a news report, but a real woman, a real mother, a real sister, whose absence leaves a gap that cannot be filled. Sunday morning, 12 July 2026. While the forensic team continued their work and the investigation into the car's movements continued, Darling Downs detectives had enough grounds to act. A search warrant was executed at an address on West Street, Harristown, an ordinary residential area in Toowoomba, 55 kilometers from where the body was found. There, a 48-year-old man was named as a person of interest. He was taken into custody. There was no information about whether he resisted. There was no information about whether he attempted to flee. All police released was simply this: he was arrested at that address and taken to the station. The man's identity had not been made public as the investigation continued, but there was one detail confirmed by police, and it is the most significant detail in this entire case. The man and Jana Armstrong knew each other. The charge laid was connected to domestic violence, not a stranger, not a random attacker, but someone from within her own life. The 48-year-old man was formally charged with 1 count of murder, connected to domestic violence under Queensland criminal law. This is the most serious charge in the Australian legal system. And the fact that this charge is linked to domestic violence is not an incidental detail. It defines the nature of the relationship between the accused and Jana Armstrong, and it directly affects how the case will be handled before the court. He is expected to appear before Toowoomba Magistrates Court on Monday, the 13th July 2026, the day after his arrest. This is a first mention, not a formal trial. At this hearing, the court will consider whether to remand the accused in custody while he awaits trial. The investigation is ongoing. Police continue to appeal to the public for further information and camera footage. As of the making of this video, the Jana Armstrong case remains in its early investigative stage. The body has not yet been formally confirmed through forensic results, although police have stated clearly they believe it is Jana's. The suspect's identity has not been made public. A specific motive has not been confirmed. No formal trial date has been set. This is a very recent case, unfolding over less than a week. Many questions remain unanswered. But one thing has been confirmed. A man is in custody, charged with murder. And the woman he is accused of killing was the mother of a 4-month-old child, the sister of Faith Isaacs, someone an entire Toowoomba community spent days searching for in the bush. This case is not over, but for Jana's family, part of the pain now has an answer. And another part, the part connected to justice, is still to come. There is something most people don't notice when they first read about this case. Neighbors of Jana and of the accused man described them as ordinary people, quiet, unremarkable, nothing out of the ordinary. This is not the first time people have said that in a domestic violence case, and that is exactly the point worth noting. Domestic violence does not happen on the street. It does not happen in front of neighbors. It leaves no trace outside the 4 walls of an ordinary house on an ordinary street in an ordinary town. It happens in silence, and that silence is the very thing that protects the person responsible for the longest. According to statistics in Australia, on average, 1 woman is killed by a current or former partner or family member every week. That number is not falling. And in many cases, those around them, neighbors, friends, colleagues, know nothing until it is too late. Jana was the 36th woman killed by violence in Australia in 2026, and 2026 is not yet over. 36 women in less than 7 months. Each of them had a life, had a family, had loved ones waiting for them to come home. And all of them disappeared in silence, behind closed doors that outsiders could never see into. The Jana Armstrong case is not an isolated one. It is part of a larger, more painful picture, And sadly, that picture is not changing fast enough. The question is not why cases like this happen. The question is, what are we doing to stop the next one? Among everything written about this case, the news reports, the police updates, the legal analysis, there is one voice that matters more than all of them. That is the voice of Faith Isaacs, the sister who had breakfast with Jana that Tuesday morning, the sister who organized the search party, the sister who climbed through bushland, walked along dirt roads, searching for her sister for 4 days, all while caring for Jana's 4-month-old son. When she heard the body had been found, Faith said through tears, "I'm just glad she's been found." Not because it was a good ending, but because at least she had been found. At least she was no longer lying alone in the dark bush. She needs to rest with Mum and Dad. And then Faith said something no one could ever be prepared to hear. "I know she'll look after my little girl who passed away not that long ago. And I'll look after her son." 2 women, a sister and a sister, each carrying a loss. And now only one remains, trying to hold both griefs at once. Faith said. She was so loved. She was caring, calm, and loving. Always put others first. "I don't know how to keep going, but I have to be strong for her baby and my son." That is Jana Armstrong, seen through the eyes of the person who loved her most. This case is not yet over. The suspect is in custody. No trial has been held. No sentence has been handed down. But there are questions I want to put to you right now. Jana Armstrong was the 36th woman killed by violence in Australia in 2026, and the year is not yet over. What does that number say to you? And a second question, when a case is labelled domestic violence, in your view, is the Australian legal system handling it properly? Are the sentences handed down in cases like this severe enough to prevent the next one? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I read all of them. Jana Armstrong left home on an ordinary afternoon. There were no warning signs visible from the outside. No call for help was ever recorded. No one knew anything was wrong until a 4-month-old baby was found alone, and a white car sat silent 500 meters from home with the door unlocked. The first lesson from this case is not some grand warning. It is smaller than that, and that is exactly what makes it harder to notice. Domestic violence never begins with the biggest thing. It begins with smaller things. Things outsiders call a family matter, a couple's business, none of our concern. Things neighbors never see because they happen behind closed doors. And by the time it escalates beyond saving, it is usually already too late to step in. The second lesson is about the silence surrounding cases like this. 36 women in less than 7 months. That number is not just a statistic. It is 36 lives, 36 families, 36 daughters, sisters, mothers, friends, whose absence leaves gaps that can never be filled. And the final lesson, the most painful one, is about the signs we so often overlook. If you know someone in a relationship that frightens them, even if they haven't said it, even if you only sense something isn't right, ask. Ask directly. Ask again if they say it's nothing. Because sometimes, the right question at the right time can be the only thing standing between someone and the worst outcome imaginable. Jana Armstrong is no longer here, but her 4-month-old son is still growing in the arms of his Aunt Faith, who is trying to be strong for both of them. That is what remains. And that is why this story needs to be told. Before this video ends, there is something I want to say. Jana's story is not a distant one. It could happen on any street, in any home, to anyone we know and love. If anything in this video made you think of someone in your own life, a friend, a family member, or even yourself, don't push it aside. Act now. Call now. Ask now. One phone call can change everything. In Australia, emergency, immediate danger, 000, 24/7 domestic violence support, 1-1800-RESPECT, on 1-800-737-732. Crisis mental health support, Lifeline, on 13-11-114. In any other country, look up your local emergency line right away. They are always there. They are always free. All content in this video was produced by Crime Files Audio, based on information made public by police and verified reputable news sources. We do not condone any unlawful behavior. This content was made solely to inform and raise community awareness.